Welcome back to Coins Numismatic series. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing and elusive pieces in British decimal coinage, the 1980 Elizabeth II 10 pence error coin in normal condition. Get ready for a journey through history, design, wonder, and value. Let's start with the historical context. The 10 pence coin was first introduced in 1968, as part of Britain's decimalisation of currency. By 1980, circulation pieces carried the Arnold Machin portrait of Elizabeth II on the obverse and the classic crown Tudor rose reverse design by Malcolm Ironside. That year, the Royal Mint struck approximately 88,650,000 10-pence coins for circulation, Wikipedia. Collectors often refer to the 1968 to 1981 issues as the bold, large type 10p. Now, on to the design features and inscriptions. The obverse features Elizabeth II facing right, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, Machin's portrait. The legend reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 1980, surrounded by a beaded border. Turning it over, the reverse displays a crown Tudor rose with 4 leaves and 8 petals, set above the words, 10 pence, and numeral, 10, beneath. The reverse also bears the beading around the rim, giving it a classic symmetry that collectors love. Now, what about mintages and rarity? As mentioned, 88.65 million coins struck in 1980. And coins minted between 1980 and 1981 can be occasionally found in mint sets too. But error varieties for this year are quite rare. So what type of error might surface for the 1980 coin? Most commonly, this year's error examples involve a mistrike on a wrong blank, perhaps a plated blank intended for another denomination, the so-called wrong planchet or off-metal strike. One documented example is a 1980 10 pence struck on a nickel blank, weighing 7.99 g instead of the standard 11.31 g weight for cupronickel large 10p. That rare error brings the obverse Machin portrait paired with mismatched alloy or weight. In fact, one such piece was listed by Sovereign Rarities Auctions as Lot 285, estimated around 400 to 600 pounds. In normal condition, however, meaning correctly struck on proper alloy blanks, but perhaps with minor strike anomalies, a collector might find coins with die chips or die cracks near the lettering or rose petals. These minor forge marks or surface flaws are common among low-grade circulation pieces and offer modest premium only if visually pleasing. Check your change. Those types of minor die errors may fetch a few pounds above face value. Now let's talk market value and collector interest. A standard 1980 large 10 pence in circulated condition, F to VF grade, trades at just face value or marginally above, a few pence to maybe £1 at most. The interest is low because these coins were heavily circulated and abundant. In higher grades, like uncirculated or mint state, they might reach a few pounds, perhaps 5 to 10 pounds at most, unless there's a verified error like wrong planchet, which commands valued premiums. Error examples such as the nickel blank version can reach £400 to £600 or more depending on condition and rarity. Collectors are drawn to this coin mainly for its representation of early decimalization and Machin portrait, evoking nostalgia. But genuine error variants are extremely scarce. Most so-called 1980 error 10 pences turn out to be post-mint damage or cleaned coins. Enthusiasts urge caution. Only coins authenticated by reputable grading services or examined in detail should be purchased as errors. Why is the interest growing? As modern collectors pay more attention to circulating coinage, discoveries of small anomalies, such as die chips or slight die polish anomalies, drive curiosity. Yet the confirmed wrong planchet 1980 10 pence remains the rarest and most valuable, with true rarity status. Those high-value pieces are almost always slabbed by professional services and traded through auction houses. In collector circles, the 1980 10 pence error in normal condition is prized for what it represents, a solid testing ground or reference coin to compare against truly rare error examples. It's also great for teaching newer collectors what to look for in terms of minting quality and subtle anomalies. In summary, the 1980 Elizabeth II 10 pence coin is historically significant as part of the early decimal era. Design-wise, it features Machin's portrait and the Tudor rose. Its mintage is large, meaning most are common, but the few true errors, especially wrong planchet or die mismatch varieties, are highly sought and fetch significant premiums. In regular circulated form, the coin is quite humble in value, but serves as an essential reference piece for error collectors. That's the story of coin number 1. 1996 Elizabeth II 10 pence error coin in fine condition. Next up, we explore the 1996 Elizabeth II 10 pence error coin in fine condition. Another gem that sparks collector interest. Historical context. By 1996, Britain had transitioned to the smaller 10 pence coin introduced in 1992. These smaller coins replaced the larger 1968-81 types, and by 1996 Europe and the UK were well into standardizing their decimal typography. The obverse portrait in 1996 was by Raphael Maklauf, showing the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem. The reverse retained the crown Tudor rose with slightly updated detailing and a smaller diameter of 24.5 mm. Circulation mintages for 1996 were approximately 118,738,000 smaller type 10 pence coin. Design details. Obverse. Elizabeth II facing right, diadem, with legend, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 1996, and beading. Reverse. Crown Tudor rose, numeral and legend in refined proportions for the reduced size. The smaller diameter coins include sharper, crisper definition suited to modern die tooling. Now, regarding errors, the 1996 smaller 10 pence is known to have a few reported varieties, though genuine errors remain rare. Users on collector forums note strike-throughs, possibly from foreign debris, or mechanical doubling on legends, a minor doubling effect from die movement. Some reported coins appear to have thin line anomalies through the design, possibly grease in the die or a filled die error. One collector referenced seeing a faint strike through a thin blank fragment or plastic on a 1996. Serious error types for this year might include die cracks, rotated dies, or planchet anomalies such as clipped flans or partial collar errors. However, no widely documented wrong planchet variety exists for this year. Unlike the sensational, silver 2 pence, struck on 10 pence blanks, the reverse situation, 10 pence struck on wrong metal, hasn't been reported for 1996 10 pences as far as current literature indicates. In fine condition, meaning used with moderate wear but all legend legible, the 1996 error 10 pence may show soft details or light scratches, but if it contains a verifiable minor error like a die crack or mechanical doubling, that could elevate its status slightly. Market value for a standard 1996 10 pence in fine circulated condition is mere face value, 10p or slightly more in second-hand bulk lots. A coin with outright mint error, like a stunning double die or planchet misprint, would command significantly more, possibly several pounds or tens of pounds at auction depending on severity and recognition. Collector interest in this coin stems from its representation of the Maklauf portrait era, and the fact that the 1996 date sits at the transition between small-size decimal coins and later rank broadly portrait years from 1998 onward. As a result, there's a pedigree-driven fascination among error coin enthusiasts who track anomalies across different portrait eras. Unfortunately, there's no major catalogued premium die crack or rotational die example from 1996 10 pence to compare to. Typically, alleged error examples in this year are minor strike effects or post-mint damage misinterpreted as errors. Enthusiasts often share images in forums, but without authentication, the value remains minimal. Still, for the collector seeking narrative and subtlety, a 1996 fine condition error 10 pence may serve as a stepping stone to appreciating more serious varieties. If you spot a coin with unusual doubling, a die crack crossing the lettering, or an off-center strike with a shift in the border beading, this could be one of the rare true error examples. A properly verified and well-documented minor MIT error from this period could push its value into the low tens or even hundreds of pounds, depending on province of discovery, authentication by grading service, and collector demand. In sum, the 1996 Elizabeth II 10 pence in fine condition represents a high circulation yet transitional era design featuring the Maklauf portrait on the smaller coin type. Genuine errors, while theoretically possible, are scarce and usually involve strike anomalies like die cracks or mechanical doubling. In fine condition, standard examples hold only face value unless a true error is present, in which case careful authentication could lead to modest premiums. Collectors prize these coins mainly for chronological completeness in portrait tracking and as inputs to deeper error variety collecting.